We've lost 4 CHP officers in the month of June. Actually, in the last 45 days, we've lost a total of 5 officers, which is unprecedented. It affects the way that I do my job, and I have to be careful about the way I enforce the law, how I make stops, how I contact people. And when you first start this job, you feel like you're invincible, like nothing bad's going to happen to you. But as you go through the years, and you keep losing officer after officer after officer, it starts to affect you. You start to realize that it is a dangerous job for many reasons.
Since its inception in 1929, the California Highway Patrol has lost 218 officers. Oddly enough, only 41 of those officers were killed by gunshots. The remaining 177 officers were killed by oncoming traffic. You know, one of the most dangerous things an officer could do in their line of work is make a traffic stop. Not only do you not know who this person is, but you're taking a great deal of risk by stopping on the side of the road because of oncoming traffic. In June alone of 2010, the California Highway Patrol has lost 4 officers due to oncoming traffic. On June 11th, we lost Thomas Coleman. On June 22nd, we lost Phil Ortiz. On June 27th, we lost Justin McCory. The very same day, we also lost Brad Oswald.
I'm Officer Gary Milhausen with California Highway Patrol, just recently retired within the past month, was employed as a motor officer for 27 years. Officer Phil Ortiz was a very good friend of mine. When I first started in central Los Angeles, he was an officer that I did work with, stayed friends with for quite a few years, and Officer Ortiz and myself used to go on motorcycle rides off-duty also in the time that I've known him. Officer Phil Ortiz was a great person. He was well-liked by not only the officers that he worked with, but also the allied agencies that he worked with, and also had quite a bit of commendations from the public.
California move-over law simply states when you're going down highway or freeway and you see an emergency vehicle, whether it be a police officer or maybe even a construction worker or a tow truck driver, stopped on the side of the roadway, and they are obviously stopped there doing their duties of towing a vehicle or working on the roadway or doing an enforcement stop or some kind of investigation, the law says you shall move over 1 lane. The law also states that if you cannot move over, you need to slow down and back off, cover your brake. And what people need to realize is a freeway lane is very, very large. You can move over and maximize your lateral space cushion and make sure that it's safe as you go by. 46 states in our country have the move-over law. And oddly enough, 71% of Americans have never heard of the move-over law or aren't familiar with it. To me, the move-over law is common sense. If you see an object or you see a hazard on the side of the roadway, you naturally should want to maximize your lateral space cushion. You need to slow down, back off. You need to move over to allow there to be a cushion of space. When you are driving and you're talking on your cell phone, you're actively engaged in conversation. You are now driving subconsciously. Your primary mental obligation is now to your phone conversation, not to your driving. And you only perceive 50% of what's in front of you, including the officer or construction workers that are stopped on the side of the freeway.
People are aware of it and they do move over. The major factor is they need to be more attentive to their driving and not to be driving on the shoulder, and be very careful not to be texting or taking their attention away from the roadway, which is the major focus of everything, that people just need to pay more attention to where their vehicle is driving down the road.